a radical approach to self-love and why it's important and why this is literally the key to creating the life that you want. How does that work? Why is this important? Why what we've been taught is so freaking out of alignment? Why I'm so frustrated? Because this video was inspired by a session with a client, and I want to address this because it's something that happens over and over again, a freaking massive pitfall. So let's just get rid of it once and for all, okay? Let's dive right in. What do we do instead? How do we thrive? How do we manifest? How do we create? Let's go. All right, I am pumped. I am powered up because I had a session with a client that we've been working for a long time together. They're so aligned. It was actually our last session. Oh, so centered. Fantastic awareness. And then they went off center. And as we tuned in, we began to do this inner work. I have so many videos in regard to, what does it look like to tune into wholeness? Because you manifest from a place of wholeness. This video, although I'm talking about inner work, has everything to do with manifestation, has everything to do with how do you create the life that you want? Because it all comes from this place. You see, manifestation doesn't come from, I want this thing that I feel like will give me validation because I actually don't feel full and whole myself. I feel like I'm not enough. So I need that thing to make me feel better. And I'm trying to manifest. And it's not manifesting. I'm so upset about it. This is not what this video is about. This video is about how do we create that which we want, which we truly want. For that, you have to first understand what is it that I want, right? This is why I work with people one-on-one. This is why I have the clarity calls, because we've been taught out of that. And so back to the client and why this is important. Again, this is a person with fantastic awareness who's done so much inner work. And they're centered and connected. And we did an experience with an inner child. And they're there. And I asked, what do you want to say to the inner child? And they go, that it's okay to make mistakes. And you made a mistake. And it's not a big deal. And that sounds great, right? Only the notion of mistake was reinforced. You get what I'm saying? The notion, right? Because we go into this is right, this is wrong. And I've talked about that in my previous videos. Right for whom? Wrong for whom? This isn't in alignment. I can make a mistake is not in alignment of I am the powerful co-creator of my own life. What's a mistake? There are no mistakes. If someone judges something that we did as a mistake, which really means I don't like what you did, so what you did is wrong because I don't like it, that's not on us. Understanding that every single time in your life, I am doing the best that I know how. And now some of you may go, well, no, there were times in my life where I knew what my intuition was telling me and I went the other way. So no, I didn't do the best that I knew how. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because sometimes we give in to our fears. Because there's a vulnerable part of us. And if it resonates, I like to call it the inner child. There are many different ways how to address that part of us. There's that part of us that needs love, that just needs to be held. So holding that, entertaining that, loving that is not a mistake. And then, we may do that and then we see how it turns out and we're like, oh, I don't like those consequences of that. And now we know. That wasn't a mistake. That was market research. We got clear that this is not the result that we want. And there again, though, from the point of manifestation, from a point of creation, experiencing that which you don't want only gets you so much clearer on what you do want and therefore adds to the manifestation. So it's a win-win. So many things that I'm addressing in this video. the things that we were taught, that we believed in, that were wrong, right? And again, I get how I'm saying the word wrong, but then I'm actually telling you that there's no right or wrong. So we were told that there's a right and wrong. There isn't. We bought into a story that isn't wrong necessarily, but just that probably isn't serving you if you want to be the powerful co-creator of your life and if you want to create a life that you want. And so when we address, and the reason I'm so fired up about this is because we do this as the conscious, right? It's like, this isn't the subconscious talking. This was a session where, and again, from a person who has phenomenal awareness, we separated, right? And we have the inner child who's afraid, and we have the conscious self that still says, it's okay that you made a mistake. I love you. And I corrected that. And I said, is it okay if I step into that? And they go, sure. And I'm like, right, go ahead and tell them that they didn't make a mistake. The child was curious. They wanted to do something. They had fun with it. They didn't know that that was not something to do. And as a result, an adult in that person's life took their love away. Said, ooh, I'm upset with you. And so the child felt, oh, love is conditional. So if I follow this, if I do this thing that is curious, is exciting to me, love gets taken away from me, right? Attention, presence gets taken away from me. So it's not safe for me to be all that I am. It's not safe for me to go for what I want. It's not safe for me to be curious because there might be consequences of rejection. And that's a big deal when you're a kid, right? We learn to handle rejection a little bit better as we're adults because we don't make it mean so many things about ourselves. But as a child, it means everything. Because again, as a small child, you can't survive if the adults in your life, if your tribe rejects you, right? You die. And so we bought into this. You have to behave a particular way. You have to be a certain kind of person. Those qualities are liked by others, by your tribe, so you can keep them. But those qualities are not liked, so get rid of them. And so we create those limiting kind of contracts with ourselves. And now those contracts are dictating our life as adults. So it's so important in those moments, like what I did with that client. There was still this, as they said that, I heard that, mistake. So I make a mistake. So from back then, the concept of mistake is brought to now. And there's still this, ooh, is this a mistake? It's like there are no mistakes. You're at the right place at the right time doing the right thing. What is the worst thing that can happen? You entertain your ego, that part of you that needs to be loved, and you go with the fears? Great. You're getting clear that that doesn't work. And you also get to hold the part of you and love it. The part of you that doesn't feel loved, that didn't feel safe early on. Is that the worst thing that can happen? Coming into wholeness? Or you go the other way and you follow love and you do that thing that you want to do and you follow your intuition. You're like, hell yes, I did this. And that was terrifying and I did that. And I overcame that fear. And then I get to step into the greater self. Win. It's a win-win. So this huge pitfall of going into inner work, or just life generally, addressing life with this, how do I fix myself? And this is what so many coaches are making so much money on, right? How do I fix myself? You see, what I do with my one-on-one clients is, how do we tune into wholeness? How do we actually drop all the stories about fixing? Because they're selling all these things of, well, how do I fix myself? How do I improve myself? How do I become more efficient? How do I get rid of subconscious sabotage? Like subconscious self-sabotage. It's about why the sabotage is there, not about getting rid of it. It's about loving the part of you that felt the need to create that, not trying to fix it. How do you like it when other people are trying to fix you? Probably not very. So why do you do that to yourself? Why do you do that to aspects of yourself? So I would love to hear below. What are you hearing me say? What is your takeaway from this? And what is a way, if you're willing to share that, I would love to hear that because first of all, you're inspiring others. And I just want to hear, what is your Kind of, what is your heart calling you to? What is your inner being calling you to? Down below, what does it look like if you actually stepped into wholeness? Like if you just released in some aspect of your life, there's really no right and wrong with this one. Whatever comes up for you in the moment, like what does more wholeness look like to you on a practical level? What is an action step that you can take that would stand for more wholeness, embodying more wholeness in your life? Let me know below. And if this resonated, give it a like. If, actually not if, I would really encourage you to share this with someone who needs to hear this, who just doesn't have to fix themselves anymore. Someone who you want to see thrive, who you want to see love themselves more, connect to themselves more. And of course, this, you may send this and it might just not land. It starts with you. It starts with you modeling that behavior. It starts with you tuning into that and others going, wait, how are they doing that? I just recently stopped working with a client and they go, wow, I had no clue that I could feel this way 3 months ago when we started working together. There was a calling to start working with you, but I didn't even know that this state was possible. Like, I didn't know it was possible to experience this clarity and certainty and connection that I feel right now. And of course, because you only know what your previous experiences were. You only know what's possible from what you've experienced. So are you willing to follow those breadcrumbs of, what if there's more for me? And if this is something that you want to dive deeper into and work one-on-one in a private container, the description's below depending on when it is, and if I'm taking clients, you can reach out to me and find out. So on this note, I thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.